Live.
Apparently.
Oh, here we are then. All right. Hey, everybody. How's it going out there? This is Thursday evening or wherever it is where you're at. And this is WebDM Twitch. We are back with Land Between Two Rivers, although we are not a full crew this evening. TK is with us in spirit while they enjoy a vacation of sorts without internet, computer, or the like. So, TK, enjoy your vacation. We will see you next week. But here we are, and I'm Jim Davis. We are playing in the Land Between Two Rivers this evening. Let's see how everyone else is doing. Grant, how are you?
What's up, my friend Jim Davis? I'm here, ready to sling some dice, take some names here in the Land Between Two Rivers. Styling, profiling, you know all that. Sorry, I don't even know where that came from. I don't know. It's just like, as I'm chewing gum, and it's just like... Yeah, I took one look at my scraggly self on the preview mod. Oh no. Who wore it better? I want to poll in chat. Who wore it better? Bad Boy Grant or Laugh Love Bendy? I was trying to come up with a L word Lady Lindy, because if I'm Bad Boy, but it evades me.
My brain's mush at the moment.
Yes.
Lewd.
Lewd Lady Lindy.
Yeah, Lewd Lady Lindy.
Triple L, L3, L cubed. That's where it's at. And our Elvis. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm excited to be back in the Land Between Two Rivers, specifically because it is an amazing campaign in the Dungeons and the Dragons.
Thank you. I happen to think so as well. Lindy, how are you doing?
Oh, you know me. I'm doing pretty good. Y'all are looking great this evening. I missed playing with you guys the past couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing Mer Valentine. I'm also struggling with allergies a bit right now, so hopefully my medicine kicks in while we play and I don't sound sick. So yeah, I'm doing great. I'm ready for this. I'm so ready.
Excellent.
Got many plans to go through today.
A tangled web that Mer weaves.
More like a conspiracy board.
Sure. Anna, how are you doing this evening?
Hello, I'm doing all right. Just hanging out, the usual. But I'm back playing. I missed all of you, and I'm playing Ellie. Still, she hasn't died, surprisingly, thank God. And that's it. I'm excited. Oh, I think I'm getting set up with somebody.
I think that's there's something going on. This is one of those where I don't even know what the players have in store, so it would be a surprise for everyone.
Stay tuned.
And Josh, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing pretty good. Hope you guys are ready for Blue to drown the whole planet. It's gonna be real fun.
Well,
It's
there
gonna
you
be
go.
real fun.
That's just we're gonna start off with you drowning the players.
That's his current objective.
Mm-hmm.
It's not drowning if you. He's gonna Noah everybody. He's gonna let him know. He's gonna give him time. Build your boats.
Sure.
And then he's gonna open up the elemental portal to bring some life back to this planet.
And I just imagine he's gonna pick up his own sad ass like the Lorax and just float away to a different dimension as we all drown.
Yeah, something like that.
Just jump back through the portal to hell. It'll be fine.
Right. There's a bunch of portals that.
This is fine.
Yeah, this is perfectly fine. No problem. You just destroy the place and then plane hop to another dimension and start all over again. There are infinite dimensions in this fictional world.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be fine.
Excellent. We are brought to you apart by Tabletop Loot. Go and check them out. They are they got everything you need for dice and accessories and dice jails and mugs and all other sorts of things. So give them a look and use the code WebDM15 to get yourself a little discount on us and support the show, support our sponsor. When last we played, The party had entered the oozing caverns of the suppurating god and defeated its minion, the Bone Sorcerer, who was itself a simulacra of some sort of sentient and psychic ooze that was attempting to take over other creatures. The party seemingly put a stop to that at the behest of a mysterious Medusa queen, Nathria, and find themselves on the way back to her abode to deliver the good news that her rival has been dealt with, and the caverns themselves, rendered lifeless and impotent to threaten her any longer. So we'll kind of pick up right there with the rest of the party kind of coming into the Medusa's lair, having been escorted in to deliver your message. We'll say Icky is with the skiff along with Axe Dreamer, who the two of them stayed to have a little chat of some kind while the rest of the party brings word of their victory to the Medusa Queen. So then we'll pick up right there this week and get back into the action. So the Medusa Queen has allowed you back into her abode. You were escorted there by several of the animate stone statues that she keeps around, and greeted at the entrance to her elaborate throne room by Mivia, her daughter, who seems sort of chided and different now than when you last saw her, more reserved or quiet.
Is she far away from Ellie?
Yeah, when you first spot her, she is. She's probably about 50 feet or so away from Ellie. You've come down that long ramp and are in the sort of like the first entrance hallway. If you were to head to your right, you'd get to like the Hall of Enemies. Mm-hmm. And if you were to head to your left, there would be sort of the servants' quarters, which none of you have been in. Straight ahead is the audience hall.
Okay, and Medusa, I already met Medusa in the past episode that I wasn't here for, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Actually, I think Ellie was on the boat. She was,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she was on the skiff.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. She was taking a very long nap, like a 16-hour nap.
Yeah. She was so tired.
Yeah,
I thought it was best to just let you sleep it off. You're still recovering from that poison, it's just good to let you rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
understandable. I'll probably make my way towards Nivea,
mm-hmm.
and while I'm walking towards her, Ellie's just very excited to see her, just kind of half running, I guess, power walking, kind of. She's like, "Hi, do you remember me? Hello."
Yes, I remember you perfectly well. Hello.
Is there something wrong?
Nothing wrong. My mother wishes to see you as soon as possible.
Did you get in trouble?
Not in trouble. That would be no, not in trouble.
And I look at her. I get a little bit closer to her face and squint.
Mm-hmm.
Like, tell me the truth.
This is the truth.
Then why is your face like that? All sad and worried.
I think that you perhaps misunderstand my demeanor. I'm merely concentrating on powerful magic that I recently learned this morning, and it's difficult for me to keep it in my mind at the moment.
So you're doing magic right now?
Of a sort, yes.
You guys, she's doing spooky magic.
Gildan is prepping his 3 tiny servants who he's been teaching them how to play the recorder, the trumpet, and there's a percussion.
Where do you even have these instruments from?
I stole them from your house. And
that's a good question.
Those instruments.
King of the bongos. Well, we got to enter with a lot of fanfare. I'm a prophet returning, full of grace and truth.
It's true.
That's true.
The most obnoxious
did.
instrument I own. Well, I
Yeah.
guess I do have some obnoxious instruments. I have my sitar, tambourine, and a ney. So
This is just they all have castanets. Just
I would have those too. Yeah, you could have stolen some from my house.
I've also put boxer shorts on all of them with little frilly bells.
Are the instruments animate and playing themselves, or is it?
No, they're attached to my javelin people.
Okay, all right.
Strong guy and tall dad and Pee-wee.
I recall very well. So there's the three of them sort of proceed the way in a triumphant return. Ellie's sort of trying to get some information out of Nibia, but maybe she just has a resting concern face, resting sad face.
Bitch face?
And it's just kind of
resting concerned face.
You mustn't worry yourself. Please, and as Gildan's procession enters in through the hall.
Hey, Jim, by the way, I have, as is often the case, preemptively cast protection from poison on Ellie.
Okay.
So, ever since she got poisoned, I've been
just keep it up.
Been putting protection from poison on Ellie. So,
is it visible, or is it like an invisible?
I don't think so. I don't think it has any kind of sensory thing.
Okay. Cool. I think Ellie would totally forget that she has that on her.
That's totally fine.
All right. So, for those of you, you're all entering into the audience chamber, or maybe doing something else.
I think we're okay. Yeah, I'm entering in. Just the tiny servants, the three of them. Great fanfare. Dun 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 dun.
Mer would admire again the beautiful statues, especially in the Hall of Enemies. So artful, so tasteful, just really well done. But shouldn't her as well. She'd just be like.
And the statues are of the people that she trapped.
These are her special enemies. Whereas the the courtyard of trespassers is more just people who were poking around who shouldn't have been. The Hall of Enemies is seemingly reserved for those who have earned her ire. But they are all petrified. Some of them have been fractured and then put back together, or rearranged, broken apart and rearranged. There's a collection of just stone heads along one wall, where.
My favorite is the one with all the spears going through him, and he's midair. That's my favorite.
Those sort of suspended there.
Okay.
So, yes, passing through this grim display onward to the audience hall. The audience hall seems more cavernous than the last time that you were there, and stretches nearly the size of an entire football field. Right? It's just this massive underground chamber with these pillars that stretch up into the shadowed ceiling. And your footsteps echo across the polished marble floor as you make your way towards the throne. That's kind of 2/3 of the way into the room. Nathria seems to be by herself and just draped across the stone seat that she's in. And as you get closer to her, do you say anything or do anything?
Oh, yeah. She still has the snakes, right?
I'm gonna let the others talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mer gives the slight bow she did beforehand. Respectful,
A slight bow.
She that full bows are reserved for hell.
Sure. Etiquette.
So thoughtful, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I think
so thoughtful.
Ellie, since she's never seen Medusa before, she's just gonna be like, whoever's on her right side. She looks so cool. All right, is it impolite to stare? Because I really want to stare.
As long as you do so in an admiring way, I do not think she would mind.
And she tries to smile, looking at her, thinking it's an admiring way, but just
look how you were looking before. Like that really cool look. Yes. Like,
So
Mira's gonna like rearrange her face. Like there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Gildan is going to use thaumaturgy that would be behoove his faith as sort of a divine miracle, and almost like the little voodoo doll guys from Princess and the Frog. There's like little hag puppets kind of dancing a circle around him as he kind of comes in with his castanet playing servants announcing his arrival as the triumphant prophet returned.
There is a.
You're gonna turn me to stone, aren't you?
She stands as you get about halfway from between there and your destination. He stands, and there's a brief and sort of slow, just wonderful. I am pleased to see you all return in a triumph. Not quite the same of those who were here last, but I'm assuming everyone is fine. At least that's the way it looked when you dealt with whatever it was that was down in that gross, muddy hole. And her demeanor seems noticeably different from when you...
Yeah, can Mer do an insight check to see if what she can gather off of this change in demeanor? Like, I kind of sent you all there to die. Or, like, what's up?
Yes.
Insight. I don't have a great insight score. Oh, but I rolled pretty well. 15?
She seems genuine enough. There's no hint of, like, malice or disappointment.
Okay, that's good. That's what I was looking for.
She seems she's coming off kind of like Prince John from Disney's Robin Hood. Oh, more importantly, the loser. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I was just making sure.
I'm waiting for this to turn into the 47 years in prison campaign. The Shawshank Between Two Rivers. Oh my goodness.
Her eyes seem fixed on Ellie at the moment, and a slight smirk kind of crosses her face as she steps down one step from her throne. It seemed as if whatever that creature was that took the sorcerer was... I shudder to think what would have happened had it gotten loose. Thank you.
You're welcome. I actually don't know what happened because I was sleeping for like many hours apparently, but I'm pretty sure and she thinks of a fancy word that she was taught by Baloo, what's the word that you taught me, Baloo? Comrades? Is
Baloo
it?
frozen?
Yeah.
Yep, there he is.
Thank gosh, frozen.
He's blinking.
I'm gonna say it's that word. They would want to say thank you.
Excellent. And she waits for the comrades.
Yes, we are glad we were able to deal with it before it caused further intrusion or escaped into the rest of the waste. It was attempting to make more of its kind.
I stood toe-to-toe with the great beast and tore him limb from limb. Me and the boys, that is. Dun 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 dun. Gildan's Glee Club.
How ingenious. It's good to see that that reliable servants are not hard to come by. Now, there was a matter of an army that I believed that you were going to deliver to me. Yes, Prophet?
Absolutely.
The three... Perhaps I misunderestimate the...
Oh, well...
Well, I have questions first before the army is delivered.
Oh, boy.
Are you seeking the very wise, the very swift, or the very strong? These are important questions. Goddess.
Yes. I would prefer the swift.
That will be sufficient. For it is important when delivering gifts to gods, you find out exactly what they desire, lest I bring the wrong army to you. For it is within my power to bring many armies, but for you I shall bring the swift. As I cut away to Mur's sunken head. No.
Baseball.
She's gonna have permanent indentions on the side of her face from just. Ugh.
And when can I expect this invincible army of swift soldiers?
The invincible army of Our Lady the Goddess Medusa shall arrive when the crow's feathers falls, when the buzzard's beak enlarges, and when the last of the 7 swamis sings his final hymn. Soon.
And these signs and portents are surely...
Bear how the stars speak to me, Gildan says as his eyes twinkle.
Mur is like standing behind him, and she's just like constant.
Well, you delivered on your promise to deal with this creature. So, I trust that the army is on its way, Prophet. And while I have patience, like the stone, it is not infinite. And she stepped down to the second step.
No, it is not. But your grace is, as is your beauty.
She eyes Gildan. She gives Gildan a side eye, like one of her snakes.
I flex.
Well, now that matter is taken care of, and I see that perhaps there was a reason that one of my prized statues had gone missing. Again, looking towards Ellie. I'm ready to put the whole matter behind me. I will wait. And when this army is ready, deliver it to me. But, as I said, I will not wait forever. She walks back up to her throne with this.
Is she still looking at me?
Not at this point. Her back is briefly to you for a moment as she sits.
Our Lady Goddess has spoken! And the tiny sheriffs, dung, 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 dung. Charge! And I'm gonna have to depart as swiftly as possible. I gotta go round up servitors. I gotta bring them to you. We might need to breed more. We might need to go into the pyramid, figure out how those gunk machines work, and just start.
Only I had those notes on cloning still. God.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, well.
She sits, and there is the sound of stone gliding on stone from deeper in the audience chamber. And out of it walks Mud.
Oh God! Please repetrify her. I never.
Hi, everybody. It's me again.
I find that even as a stone-faced statue, that she has outlived her usefulness to me.
I said that as soon as she was born. That it just. Ugh.
Nevertheless, given her role in all of this, I thought it would be fitting if I gave her to you.
Ugh.
She is
Take
now
me, Mur! She walks over, arms outreach.
No, please don't touch me. Do not touch me.
Who is this?
It is. Oh,
My name's Mud, 6-time shot put champion of the city of Dis. You have great eyes.
What's shot put? And thank you.
It's a sport. Have you tried it? Here, take this nugget. She holds out a rock.
please don't. Not in here. Please, not in the house of the Medusa.
The shot put
Destroy
nugget.
her things.
You hold the nugget in your hand like this, and she takes her meaty dishwashing hands, puts it.
Please.
Puts on Ellie's. We're gonna nugget toss outside.
Yes,
Come-
not indoors.
I bet you can out nugget toss Mur. And maybe even that Harry... Oh, no! You again!
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wait, you did?
Good old-fashioned hit it and quit it. He's bad news.
Come on. You're the one who. No. Yeah. No.
Why
never
is
mind.
this my life?
I'm sorry, Mer.
There's a smug sort of look on the Medusa's face as everything sort of.
Like, this is punishment enough.
Yeah. We deserve this.
Absolutely, we're family.
Oh,
Blood is thick.
please never say those words again.
Yes.
I've been exercising.
Okay.
Have you been exercising? It's great for your health.
I
No.
frequently for work. Please, we'll leave you. I will remove this abhorrent creature from your presence. And I just like.
That's the nicest thing you've ever called me.
I know. I'm trying to be polite in front of the Medusa. Now. Just gonna lead her out the doorway.
Yeah. Mud's kind of like thunder trucking it, just boom, 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 boom.
As you turn around to leave, the sort of the entrance is kind of like right behind you, as it were, and there's no obstruction or anything. Mivia stands at sort of the entrance to sort of see you out, and behind you there's just a soft chuckle from the throne as you leave. I'll be watching, Prophet. She calls out after getting.
He turns around and just kind of. Yep.
I wave back and be like, I like your hair.
Thank you.
I like both of your hair, says Mud.
We are leaving.
Oh, God. You've told us often.
Please do not speak.
It's Jim's fault.
So the group leaves, and if everyone's amenable, we can sort of fast forward a bit as we travel.
Mer is very thankful
on the
she has
road
the
again.
silence spell. Now that Mud is on the ship.
99 nuggets of rocks on the ship.
That's right. Mud must have learned Drow sign language in the meantime. Yep. So I believe the last time that we played, there was some talk about picking back up the trail of
Well, there would be, but someone is apparently on a time limit to deliver an army to
Yeah.
Medusa.
We gotta go to the servitors camp, and we gotta round up my servitor guys and bring them to the Medusa.
Let's go. We can drop Mud off while we're there, just anywhere. You know, the side of the road is fine. We can just leave.
the servitors. I forget where they were rendezvousing with y'all at. Was that at Blues?
They were.
Okay,
They were.
that's actually not far from where. That's actually literally. So like the place where Icky needed to rendezvous and the place where the servitors are, not that far apart from each other. You would run into the wasteland encampment where Icky was going to rendezvous with her sort of contact before getting to the servitors.
We can drop Icky off, so that way she probably like that, and then we'll just continue with the servitors. And
Yeah.
Mur's gonna play really romantic music whenever she's not driving the skiff, like really nice sitar music. and
Mud's
kinda-
like, as you're playing that, she's staring. There's Mud's stats. I got her. She's
Oh,
like,
no.
she's just like staring at Baloo, like, I've missed you.
Yeah, I know.
I missed
I'm sure.
lots of things about you. The way you
Right.
smell, the way you sweat.
I don't know how to take this, but I'm not interested right now.
It's not about interest. Just listen to your body. And she steps really close.
What is going on here? Who are you again?
I'm
Yeah.
Mer's
Why are you-
sister,
Half sister.
the better half.
No.
Mm.
Well, you
Hmm.
do have the devil. It's the devil half. She is the devil half. We have the same mother.
Oh, the devil's in you and the devil's in me. And she's like singing.
Yeah. Why don't you talk to Ellie for a while, Mud?
Here, toss this nugget. And she places this like armadillo shell in your hands.
Is this an animal?
No, it's just a shell. I ate the insides. Licked them clean. Swallowed them whole.
It's
Mm-hmm.
very sad.
Yeah, I know, it tasted terrible. I'm a bad cook, which is why he left me.
Who left you?
Him!
It was one night. I didn't get to taste your cooking.
It was one night, but in my head canon, it was years.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe it was a couple nights, but it wasn't. We
His story changes.
No. Nothing changed.
And she like kind of lays down on her side singing Live Somewhere That's Green or some sappy thing like that. And like and she's like, Go on, Bright Eyes, chuck that nugget.
But where?
As far as you can. You look strong for a little one.
She's very fragile.
It's the way you're built. You know, she's sickly, but she's got an inner fortitude.
Oh, I'm fragile.
That's what they tell you.
But
Mer's fragile too. Emotionally.
in general,
She
everybody's
hides it.
fragile. On the inside, like this armadillo.
You're wise.
And she throws it, and do you want me to roll?
Make it in athletics.
Yeah, it's in athletics, definitely.
Oh my gosh, she threw it.
Nugget put.
That's a 15.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like Millhouse and his frisbee. That was Mud growing up, by the way. You're a natural. I bet you're gonna go on to do great things.
He's very talented.
And with that, Mud shuts up for a bit so the game can go on.
Well, over the couple days of journey, she's gonna be like, Merge, be like, oh, Ellie, why don't you show X-Streamer your axe, how to sharpen it? You know, maybe you can share axe tips and
Hold on.
tricks.
I don't
She's
know how to do
basically
that.
trying to. No, Mud, you're going to sit here and be quiet.
I'm a monk.
Okay. So why don't you meditate then for a while, silently, quietly?
Kumbaya.
About maybe why Baloo left you because there's so
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, medicine.
Kumbaya. Eyes never off of Baloo the entire time. Even
Right.
Gildan's a little agitated. He's like, look, I thought my servants were bad, and they're just like, we don't even have ears.
Yeah, Axe Streamer is, you know, he seems quiet after his chat with Iggy, but you know, if talk of axes comes up, then he's
Yeah.
more than willing to join in and discuss their many merits.
Mhm.
But the journey across the rocky flats between the petrified forest and the hills just north of the Tree of Andrus, where this rendezvous point is, and really sort of you guys have been zipping back and forth between there for the last really couple of days. It's less desolate and deserted than the last time you were here, and towards the end of the first evening's journey, I guess, you start seeing stragglers and travelers who are streaming south, and in the hazy pre-dawn morning before the unseen sun rises above the horizon, you can see two large encampments, multiple tents and yurts and sort of temporary structures that have been erected on the horizon. It looks like there's a flat plain between the two of them, but there are these two rather large temporary encampments set in the low hills, just like I said, just north of the lands of the Fellowship. When last y'all were here, you were further west than where you are now. So it's not quite the same hilly region. It's like the edge of that hilly region. And so you see people streaming in on war beasts and riding animals, some of them walking, all of them in large groups to sort of deter predators and the like. But they're all headed to these two large encampments.
I would like to look through my spyglass.
Mm-hmm.
These encampments and see what I can gather.
Yeah. The first one that you spy is a let's see. Excuse me. It's a lot of like round sort of tents that look like they're made of hide or something. Many of them appear like tanned reptile hide or something, quite large as the sort of the central tent that this temporary encampment is built around. It's like a giant like circus tent, right? It's just absolutely enormous, towers over the horizon, and seems as though there are maybe colorful glass or something that's catching the light and giving it a almost polychromatic sensation as you spy it through the glass. From a distance, you really can't see much.
Yeah.
It's only through the glass, but it must be dozens and dozens of tents that sort of surround this rather large one. That's the nearest one that
Okay. Should we investigate what these say? This is unusual for this area, I believe. Encampments this large.
Yeah, you know that there are wastelanders that travel in rather large groups, and sometimes temporary settlements will pop up when a bunch of wastelanders sort of get together in one location. This time of year is
it's middle of summer. It's the hot season.
It's the middle of summer, so there's really means that this is only one thing, and this is a ritualized war encampment where two groups of wastelanders sort of get together and engage. Sort of like half. Let's see, it's like half a Burning Man, half SCA sort of event.
Got it.
They come together for, like, their champions will fight each other. There'll be small skirmishes, but rather than wage all-out nasty war, they agree to these ritualized conditions.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'll just keep going then. Maybe just kind of pass around like the outside, kind of see what groups are fighting each other today, and then not really bother stopping, I guess, unless someone else wants to stop.
This one appears as though the majority of the inhabitants of this war camp are gnolls. You see them sort of stalking about, their fur painted in various colors. But you also see, other wastelanders there, lizard folk and goblinoids and the like. That's sort of what most of them have. And then there's like a mile or two of flat, empty plain between this camp and the next one.
Hey, Mur, I bet I can recruit more army men than you for the invincible army of the Medusa.
She just looks at him like...
Save you time. How persuasive are you?
You don't want to get your servitors to do the work.
I want to get the servitors. I just think the bigger the army, the more impressive.
I know you're trying to goad me on. I really have no interest in the matter. I did not promise the Medusa army. You did.
Yeah.
So
she had your hair. Yeah, because I left it there.
He did. Because Mud is an idiot.
No, it's fine. We're gonna go get my servitors, but I'm gonna remember these. All
right. Well, if we get your servitors and you want to stop back this way and try to persuade some to your cause, you may do so. We can come this route back. They'll probably be here for a few days, and we're almost there.
All right. That's fair.
I really do love, like, Mur is just like a mom at her edge, and and like her incompetent husband who always has a new scheme. It's great. We can market it.
Right. So
I
as
see it now.
you pass by the this rather large knoll encampment with its big tents and the like, no one's stopping, no one's getting off or anything. Are you where to
Is it
now?
two groups of gnolls?
You're not
like-
sure who the other encampment is.
All right.
I'm staring at the gnolls.
I'll kind of swing by a little bit because if it's not that far away, I can just and I'll pull up my spyglass and see if I can just see what kind of people are at the other ones.
You could send me to them.
We are not stopping. We can swing a little bit. We are not stopping right now.
10 minutes. I'll make them some food and water and replenish them. They're tired from the battle.
My God.
Do you want to stop at the Knolls or the Mystery Camp? I'm only stopping once.
The Knolls.
Oh my God.
She just stops. It's like, because she's not turning this car
No
around.
seatbelt Gildan goes shooting over.
Right.
Ah!
There's nothing. It's like a flatbed truck. So Mur stops the
You have
skiff.
10 minutes. Everyone take this opportunity to use the bathroom.
All right.
Mud
We're
goes.
not stopping again.
Oh.
Oh, mud.
Leaves a mud puddle.
Yeah. Oh God.
I don't like her.
I like you.
Ellie never said that about anyone.
Yeah. Once you've lost Ellie, that's the end of it.
There's no hope.
Yeah. There's no hope.
No
So
wonder the Medusa gave her back. She's like, even as an inanimate statue, I just couldn't deal.
could I just keep hearing her in my mind? So you stop at this Nolan camp, and it is rather large, right? It's probably several hundred wastelanders are here and milling about. For those of you who are wondering the waste was a part of your life, you know that they fight during the day. That they go that sort of like it's not enough to just like duke it out. They want to do it in the most extreme and testing and trying time that they can. You're not approached or anything like that. Like I said, there's a lot of people coming in here and sort of streaming into these encampments. They're both war camps and also temporary cities. So there's all sorts of trading going on. There's workshops and people making and repairing things. All manner of food is being prepared. So it's more than just a military camp.
Yeah. I get this, and no one's gonna approach you unless you give them a reason to approach you. This is why I was blessed with the gift of gab, and I'm gonna hoot and holler like any good church-going man does. Get your blessings of the goddess of the Medusa right here. And I'm going to be like making food and holding it up. And I want to make sure this is like Knoll delicacies, which is kind of like anything, right? They're demon dog people. They're the worst. Knolls are the absolute worst. I'm going to bring her a Knoll army and she's just going to be like,
they're fast.
Fast.
check them out. And yeah, I'm just going to be, come on right here. Blessings of the Medusa.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a group of about 8 or so that straggle in as Gildan starts to like try to bring them in and draw in a crowd. Most of them gnolls, but like I said, there are some lizard folk and even other kind of just desert dwellers. You would assume goblinoid, but goblinoids come in all manner of shapes and sizes.
Join the 7 armies of the surface, I say.
What now?
The 7 armies of the surface.
Oh, no, we're here with Hamada. We can't join your army.
Oh, not mine. The army of the goddess. I am but the messenger. I can talk with Hamada.
What goddess?
Her royal majesty. She's returned from the plains beyond. And I'm going to do some spells. Spells, yes. D&D spells. That's what we do. So, there's a couple different ways I can go about this. I can either burn the big slots or the little slots. I think I'm going to burn the big slots. So here's what I do. I think the most impressive thing I can do is my probably my spirit guardian, but I might be able to go a little bigger than that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cast Guardian of Faith in the form of a Medusa this time. This large hulking feature, and like, behold her avatar. And she's not going to attack anyone, and she's going to remain here for like 8 hours, and I'm going to leave the food that I made too. I mean, this is a gift to Harmada, and let Harmada know that in some time I shall return with the holy servitors, and we will beseech that he joins us. This is going to end with like, I'm going to raise like the mechanism that kills Trade Town. I know it. I'm going to build this like
there's some chortling amongst the gnolls at sort of your reference to Hamada, but everybody's sort of impressed with this giant kind of spectral guardian here that you've summoned, and the food that you've left them, which they devour with gusto. Let's see who else. However many others sort of like come by. I think there's maybe 11 others that end up there if there's a lot of food about. So Gildan's doing this, sort of like making this pitch to recruit some of these, or perhaps the whole of them. How about everyone else?
Counting till 10 minutes, then we're leaving immediately.
Oh yeah, Mer's got the hourglass. Like I'm assuming she has one because of her trade. You got to pay by the hour. And so
puts it over with her tail.
Yeah. And so she's just waiting for the 10-minute mark. She's like, her finger is just drumming the side of the skiff, and she's probably got her spyglass out, and she's looking at the other camp, just trying to see if she can figure out what kind of people are at that camp. If it's gnolls as well, or if it's somebody else, or because she's got 10 minutes to observe them, so maybe she can kind of figure out.
So the other camp there, it's comprised of like yurts. These sort of like someone's taken like great big bones of some sort of creature and stretched their hide across them. And so rather than this sort of like big tent with a lot of little ones surrounding it, it's more a collection and clusters of yurts of various sizes. It looks as though that hobgoblins are the most prevalent there. But the whole place has a kind of hazy, there's maybe some sort of smoke or something that's obscuring it. A lot of the yurts have this sort of thick, clinging smoke that there's
interesting. Okay, yeah, she'll make note of that and just wait for 10 minutes.
Yeah. How about
ask everyone one more time if they need to go to the bathroom, because if they need to go, they should do it now. Not stopping again.
Not happening. How about Ellie?
Ellie would definitely stare at these, what are these werewolf creatures?
Gnolls.
Your hyena thing.
Yeah. And just try to not be creepy like she usually does when looking at people or things. And then maybe see if they have like a specialty food. If any. If not,
she's gonna throw up again.
Oh boy.
What sort of food do they have? They appear, you just sort of like walk around the outer tents here. You see a lot of like salted foods, a lot of like preserved meats and the like, probably from some, unidentifiable beast that they found out in the wastes. It looks as though most of them are chewing on this salted meat and eating it. It's really Gildan's food that's providing the exotic, different fare than what they're used to. But you see people making all sorts of things, weapons. They're curing hides for leather, and distributing water, things like that. So it's not just food there.
Okay. she'll definitely buy some of that salted meat.
Mhm.
And while she's doing so, she is gonna ask whoever is running the shop if they have seen somebody that looks like her.
Uh-huh.
Hello, my name is Ellie. I think your meat looks really good and delicious, and it smells okay. So I would like to buy some, please.
Oh, that'd be the 3 chits for a strand of the jerky.
3 what? I'm sorry?
Chits. And he goes, he's like, it's a chit.
Is it? And then I take out like a silver piece or something. Is it this thing?
He kind of like looks at it and bites it, and it's sort of like soft like silver, and like, no, it's teeth and bones and like hard metals. Chits.
Oh, bones, teeth. Okay. And I look in my other pocket that Icky had given me like a couple of teeth and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of these things, and I take
Yes.
out like a fang. Like a
Oh
red
yes.
one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He takes that one.
And then she'll just like grab it herself.
Yeah.
So, have you seen somebody that looks like me?
Not too many. But this, I think that someone I overheard them talking about some strange traveler on a large lizard, not far from here, to the east. Yes, I come from different place though. No, not go to the east myself. Too much grass and shrubbery. No, thank you.
Yeah, that does sound terrible. Doesn't sound like a good time. We're on the same page, friend.
It's good jerky.
It's pretty good. Did you make it?
Yes, I did.
You're very talented, and you must be so proud.
It's my cousin.
What?
It's good. And he takes a bite himself.
Your cousin made it?
Yes, he died after that. What do you think we do? Just bury him? It's food.
Well, he is tasty, so I guess.
It's a bite.
Not cannibalism if you're not a cult, or if you're not a knoll.
My rights. Calories are calories.
It's true that.
So Ellie is off doing this. How about Baloo?
Blue's got a lot on his mind. He also knows that when it comes to Gildan, it just might work. Could be the catchphrase. So he's kind of waiting to see what happens there. Otherwise, he'd be with Ellie, I think. In which case,
hanging out, keeping up with Ellie.
Baloo's got a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So did he?
Mud is following Baloo.
I'd lie for you, and that's the truth. He's just like crawling behind him ominously.
Oh my god! This is what Baloo gets for those days.
Mm-hmm.
It was a couple years when he was sexually active.
Yeah. Well, there's more of them out there somewhere.
I know. 365.
All right, so you sort of like watching Ellie eating some of this jerky, and so you're all in like the periphery of the camp there.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see. So the other question is what to do with the 2 goblins, Bat and Google.
Oh yes, they are still with us as well.
Heralds of the army.
Yeah.
We've got to get rid of our
Yes,
entourage.
please. Can we leave them with the rest of the army? And deliver it to the Medusa?
They've got it.
With plan.
I'm teaching the goblins how to play 110 Soldier, which is kind of like an anti-war song, but it's going to be our war song. It's fitting.
So they're reluctant to leave the skiff. Like they're not. You'd have to kick them off to get them. They're like.
Bud picks one up under either arm. Come on, boys.
They try to escape. Let's see. Oh, one of them got a 1 for their athletics. The other got a 17 to try to wriggle free.
Well, Mud's gonna hold on to her.
Mud's pretty athletic.
Her grappling feet. She got this.
Oh yeah, and she's got the grappler feet.
That's right.
She got you.
That's why Baloo was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, she got a 19.
Okay.
She got him. But
Yeah.
she's just more like, we gotta keep our eyes on him. He's a goblinoid like you. Tell me how I can win him back. You're goblins. You should know.
What? They're just like screaming, don't bring us into the camp!
Okay, I'll just sit here and hold you in my massive arms.
Tries to push out and get away, but it's
10-minute mark. I'm just leaving them here.
just leaving them. Yeah, you see Ellie and Baloo working their way through the periphery of the camp there. While Bat and Guga and Mud all sit and observe in silence. The 10 minutes are almost up, and Axe Dreamer never left the skiff. He was
I
like,
assumed he didn't.
it's 10 minutes. No. He just hopped down to use the restroom and then got back. But
He didn't even wash his hands.
he just rubs them in the dirt.
I think that's what pretty much everyone but Mer does. So.
So yeah, anyone stray? Anyone gonna push that 10-minute limit?
Not at all. Gildan knows he's going to be early. He's going to be the first one back.
Right.
Yeah, I think Ellie would.
Because Gildan knows Mer will just leave.
Waiting for an excuse.
Just like his mother.
That's why you follow her around.
Right. All right then. 10 minutes are up.
Everyone back?
Yep.
I never left.
I brought some jerky for you guys. It's called a cousin.
Oh, that's great.
Some to everybody.
Yeah, I'll try it. No jerky is known for being really good.
You should give my share to Axe Dreamer over there. He looks like you a little. You know, you need to eat more. You both need to eat more.
Oh yes, of course I got to eat more. I'll take some. Sure.
Together, and Mud scoots them together. No kiss. No.
He's like,
Mer, this is the only time Mer does not interfere.
Actually, seems a bit resistant. I mean, it seems forced right now. I don't want to do it.
Oh yes, Mud,
like
you
a nice
should not
person.
don't push things.
Yes. No offense, Ellie. You seem
Yeah,
nice
no,
enough.
I don't.
She tosses a mean nugget.
Me?
The nugget?
Is it because I said I didn't like it? It's because you peed, so it was really weird.
Everyone pees.
Put it here.
Why did we bring Mud back? I'm so sorry, audience.
So are
Gildan's like, this is how I get my stock going up. We bring in someone worse than me.
bring in someone, someone that makes Gildan look.
Strong man.
It takes a lot to make Gildan look good. I still don't think this is it, but it's close.
Getting there. All right then. So are y'all on your way out of the encampment there?
Yes.
Yes.
Servitors away.
Servitors away, and past the other one where strange exotic smells assault your nose briefly, but
Like incense?
Yeah, like incense.
Oh, that explains the smoke. Nice. Mer likes incense.
Yeah, there's a lot. It sounds of like music, and the
Oh.
closer you get to, there's music, and you can see there are people dancing in between.
That's the lively party. We should have stopped there.
Yeah, they seem like they're having a very good time at this place. And as sort of like the sun begins to rise above the horizon, the first of the champions and their groups make their way across this plain to do battle for some unknown and bizarre purpose. But you leave all that in your rear view mirror, so to speak, as you pass by the two encampments on your way to Baloo's abode, where the what is it? Something like how many servitors?
His ditches.
Yes.
They're all just crouched down in them, their little servitor heads just resting their chins. This is how we live now.
I was thinking I was picturing more like the houses in Star Wars, like the Tatooine houses.
Mm-hmm.
I was picturing more like Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru after the stormtroopers got him myself. But
I mean, it could happen.
I'm worried about this place.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Owen.
It takes the better part of the day to get back there. You're using your various magics to shelter yourself from the unbearable gaze of the orc god's eye that stares upon the land.
Comfortable in the tiny hut.
Right. Comfortable in the tiny hut and free from all of the dust and debris of the road, you find yourselves approaching the land that gets a little bit greener, a little bit more hospitable. Short, sort of scrubby brush begins to burst free from the ground, and you get to the place that Baloo has prepared on a set of low hills overlooking the Horn River, the Hound River, which sort of lopes its way through this dry grassland east of the Fellowship lands. Now, Baloo, you said that this place that you built is like a sort of a small surface structure that leads down into a much larger underground cavern. Is it one of those where it's like the big sort of central open air courtyard?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, with maybe like 5 or 6 large rooms connected with tunnels like that you can stand up in, not crawl through.
Right.
But yeah, like big enough that like it could be used as a small trading post or something like that.
Okay. And there is about 14-ish of these servitors who seem to be milling about, and they sort of like let themselves in, I guess, and have made themselves at home in the days since they were sent out from Trade Town.
We gotta teach them how to steal. Like, right. They just walk around with burlap sacks and take things and load them up. This is the tenets of our religion.
And take what you need when you need
it. As they see the skiff approach and sort of recognize who's on it, they exit out of the abode to await the arrival of their prophet and leader, Gildan.
Come and meet the blessed Gorgon goddess of the Gildanites. Come one, come all. The blessed Gorgon goddess of the Gildanites.
Greetings. We bless your travels and thank you for arriving unharmed. What wonders do you bring us now?
Behold! And I turn and I summon another guardian of faith in the image of a giant Medusa. You must come and behold her glory, for she summons us to the north. Our blessed Gorgon goddess has returned from realms far and away, and she seeks her invincible army, the army that once belonged to Lang. Now she comes to claim you, and there is a special place for you in her house.
Well, we are but yours to command, and if this goddess is in need of warriors, then we will do what we can. And the survivors of the group that Gildan had led out into the Yellow Wastes, in their sort of this many of them are still wearing their sort of ceramic armor that they had, that very tight and sealed armor, but some of them have adorned it with other tokens and the like. Maybe you can hear one of them screaming in the background.
It's okay.
She wishes to be let out of the room. You won't ever see the cat, but she loves to talk. That's Abby. That's Abby. And so these 14 warriors who have survived and passed Gildan's tests out in the waste, and who are
my apostles.
Apostles.
We ordained them.
Are there and ready to serve. Now, are you just there to pick them up?
No, remember, yes, we're going to pick them up and bring them back. I sent them here specifically to convert and recruit. Were they successful at all?
They have gathered about them a smallish group of other wastelanders. There's a permanent encampment not far from Baloo's abode that they have been traveling to and from in order to talk to people and the like. And there's a small crowd of wastelanders who are in one of the courtyards of Baloo's house, and they're like curious and cautious, but aren't quite sure exactly what's going on. They're just sort of like, there was promise of food and
yes, and I can provide this, and it will be the penultimate miracle before the fullness of times. And I'm going to create food and water, and then as soon as we're ready, first thing in the morning, we're marching them back to the Medusa.
Okay.
Are we stopping by the Knoll encampment on the way back?
Yes, we got to pick up those that are interested in us, and if I have to fight Hamada to win them over, that would suck. That's what Axe Dreamer's.
I fully support you in this.
I want to convince Axe Dreamer to be the champion of the army.
Nope, I forbid it.
He will march in front of him. I bet that's what he wants.
I mean, I'm already already dedicated myself to another goddess. I don't have time for.
He's busy.
For this snake woman who turned me to stone, and I don't care for her. I'd kill her.
Which goddess is that?
What's that now?
What goddess do you worship?
Oh, she's old. I don't think she's around anymore, but the legend said that if you dedicate your life to her, devote yourself to her, you spend eternity in her home in paradise, eating grapes and drinking wine and fornicating and the like. I'm saving myself for her, actually.
This is a lot like my mother.
I don't know your mom, but statues don't look awful lot like you. No offense now, you're pretty beautiful yourself, but
What about me? Says Mud, whose head just kind of flops in.
But like to the side, just like as soon as she enters, just like yeah.
I mean, you seem like a nice enough sort, but not my type.
Look, I'm not gonna say it.
Only into goddesses.
We're gonna cut to black. Yeah. Ain't the best ride at the park, but there ain't no line.
So are goddesses like? Is that like what you marry usually?
I mean, not in the traditional sense, but more like devotion. I never had a chance to take the oath before I ran afoul of this Medusa.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Gildan's like, I was raised by a goddess, happen to be something of an expert on the subject. With that said, I have a lie to perpetuate.
I have a lie to perpetuate.
He admits it. Mm-hmm. He admits it.
A lonely boy says what? Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I would have said something earlier, but y'all seemed, you seemed like, if I upset you, you might have tried to kill me. So, but you seem like nice enough folk now that I've gotten to know you.
Yes, you do have to get to know people before making assumptions about them most of the time.
If you were saving yourself, why did you wear a sex harness all that time?
Well, that wasn't much of my choice now. That was more of the Medusa's doing.
Oh, okay. It was a good look for you.
Thank you.
Ellie's just so confused just like looking like back and forth, like.
But I prefer to just fight monsters. It's what I like doing best.
It is fun, but only those who deserve it.
Oh yes, only those who deserve it. I've learned a lot since being unstoned.
Hmm.
And I put my hand on his shoulder, like, you're growing up so fast.
Yeah, you were rock hard there for a bit.
Good one. Let's see how many that the servitors have managed to recruit. The servitors have swelled their ranks by 50%, and there are now 21 warriors and those who are willing to to fight for Gildan's cause. 21 is a lot for the skiff to have.
I was going to say, Murray's gonna be like, we need to make sure they are fast. No, I will drive very slowly, and
they're swift. I think I even.
Well, this will be extra training for them.
Oh man, am I gonna have to do some stupid spell stuff?
I don't know.
Melf's lasso of servitude. As we drag their bodies through the desert. Now raise them.
Yep.
We might need to animate some dead too to bolster the ranks.
Many of them have their own conveyances. They're not nearly as fast as the skiff, but they're able.
I'll drive it slow, and they can keep up. It's good training for them. They're supposed to be swift.
Exactly.
It's great practice.
In that case, it takes you guys stay. The rest of that night you'll need to prepare. You'll need a full night's travel in order to get back to even just to get back to Hamada's camp. And then even then, without the speed of the skiff, it will take many days to cross the desert and get into the petrified forest with this crew. So give me an idea of sort of how that night of preparation goes. Anything that you want to cover there before we set out again?
I'm interested in hearing the rest of the party first, as it might advise me.
Yeah, you guys are going to spend at least one night in Baloo's place.
Yeah. Oh. One night in Baloo's place makes a strong mud crumble.
Mud, that's your name? Yes?
Yeah.
You think, why don't you lead this army of warriors that...
That's a fantastic idea. We can give her back to the Medusa.
I mean, you seem like you're how to handle yourself in a fight.
I do. And, yeah, I'll lead the army. Is that okay? Gildan's just not even Gildan. Gildan's like, look, I need to bolster my numbers. But that Medusa dumped her on us. Probably to murder her in Baloo's basement, and then none of us bring it up again. I knew I could do it, Todd Downey said, as he helped himself to another ear of corn from the steaming bowl.
I'm not allowed to. My mother told me I can't outright kill her.
Oh, well.
Outright, blatantly.
Yes. Well, just a thought, but anyway.
Yeah, I'll join the army. In the Navy, you can sail the 7 seas.
You've never even seen a sea, Mud.
There's no oceans here.
Well, actually, there might be one.
There is one further south, but it's like the Dead Sea. It's one of those where you just
there is a very salty ocean, and then there's Blue and I discovered another one.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that night is going to pass peacefully at Blue's. Everybody kind of goes to their separate rooms. And...
Murr is not going to object to anyone trying to murder Mud.
So here's going to be what Gildan does. Whoops, that's a click on a wrong button. So here's essentially what he's up to. So Gildan is going to use all remaining spell slots to perform the dedication rite on those, the dedication ceremony on those that have agreed and joined and bolstered the ranks. And I have more spell slots, so I can get more. So if there's some stragglers, I think Mud too. I think I'm going to dedicate Mud to the cause because I got to lead an army. And I'm just going to use all remaining spell slots for the night on to use ceremony and dedication. So they are now dedicated to the god's service, which is kind of weird because
like I brought her away, but Gildan brought her back. That's how I'm going to say it.
No, I need to send her off on a scouting mission before we present her.
That's fine.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to fashion a massive banner to unfurl and march before us. And it's going to have seven snakes over a circle with two little... I'm actually going to make them gentler eyes. Not neutral. It'll be straight. Justice. Law. And then there'll be 7, because this is the 7 armies of the surface. Essentially, we're going to march newly dedicated. That's my preparation. I'd like to perform a wedding, but I don't think anyone wants to get married. Except Mud.
Yeah, Mud seems like she'd be...
I'm married to 7 servitors!
Just a couple of people, but I don't think Icky would approve by the time she comes back.
So that evening and then through the next day, there is all sorts of preparations being made as the recruits that the servitors have been able to find get their mounts ready and prepare for a journey across the desert. As night falls on that second day, y'all make your way back northward, passing by or eventually getting to the 2 encampments around when the sun just starts to peak itself up above the horizon. As passing by the hazy hobgoblin camp, you get the same sort of smells and sights and everything like that, but you're not like, no one comes out to stop you or anything like that. And you make your way across that open field between the 2 encampments towards Hamada's camp. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's where they focus their efforts, because gnolls are fast, so...
Yes. The Swift.
In that case, there is someone who has come out to greet you. They see, you're going a bit slower than you were the first time.
We've got people with us. Much more people than we did last time.
I mean, when it's a couple of goblins, they don't really take up that much room. Like 3 goblins is like 1 person, right?
3 goblins in trench coat.
Right, they're in the trench coat. But 21 is quite a bit for the skift, and most of them, they make their way either on short-legged, stout mounts, or some of them are in more elaborate vehicles like chariots and things like that, all manner of conveyances. You were met at Hamada's camp by a curious-looking lizard folk. Pitch black. Scales are just completely pitch black with sort of a belly that's soft gray scales. 2 sets of horns kind of come out of its forehead and wrap around, and it's also got this sort of like great frills that kind of come back. The creature is scantily dressed, really just wearing a sash and looks to be maybe like a sarong or something.
Yeah.
And its tail lashes in the sand. Black, oily smoke occasionally wafts from its nostrils. And there are 9 rather large gnolls that accompany it. They've got weapons of bone and stone and obsidian that they seem to wield with casual grace. And the creature stops you as you are making your way towards the camp, or at least calls for you to stop. Your choice.
I'll stop.
Yeah.
I don't stop as sudden as I did the last time.
Go shooting out, lands right in his arms. Thanks. Money's exchanged. And then Grant rolls a new character.
I'll slow and then stop because we got other people on mounts next to us, and they're not gonna be able to stop as instantly as I can, anyways.
Right.
Does
Yeah,
this
they bring their.
lizard kind
What's
of
that?
look like Icky?
No, I mean it's definitely reptilian, but yeah, but it, you've seen like you saw like there was that lizard folk that Ishtar had with her, but that one was rather small and definitely was like a humanoid lizard. This looks the nearest thing you would call it is a lizard folk, but in a metagame sense, Dragonborn aren't particularly common or well known, and so most of them pass themselves off as just lizard folk without revealing their draconic heritage. This one seems to revel in it and just shows off its shiny scales, and they all glisten and sort of reflect your lights back at you. As you stop, it steps forward. It has a sort of ceremonial staff of some kind in one hand. My Mistress Hamada wishes to speak with you if you are indeed the ones who were inquiring about an army. And as it speaks, occasionally wafts of oily black smoke escape from its mouth.
Yeah, that's me. Gildan says, he gets his hands together. Behold the prophet of the ways. Carry me, boys. And it's like Mud just like wraps him in a baby Moby in front. His like arms and legs dangle as she walks him in. No.
She's got her like a baby Bjorn.
Yes, just he dangles. Boing, boing. It's the most dignified mode of travel. Yes.
A tiefling demands.
It's a tiefling.
Right.
We're fine in the sun.
Just you then, not any of the others.
Unless they want to come, but I inquired, for I am the one who has been charged by the gods themselves to raise the 7 sacred armies of the surface.
The gods, you say? They speak to you.
Yes. Would you like to see a sign? I say as my eyes start to twinkle, because Gildan can definitely show people signs. He is...
I would very much like to see that, but perhaps at a later time.
Got it.
Please, if you would follow me.
So for the audience, first rule of profiting, you make sure you show a sign as something like wither their hand away or strike them deaf or dumb. Like emphatic, strong, hateful signs. Old Testament. No. All right.
Win your audience.
Excellent. Anyone else follow along? Or is it just going to be Gildan?
Greater invisibility, Murray. Come on.
I have greater and regular. Regular is racial. I will regular invisible. I will be like, Baloo, please watch the skiff. I'm going to make sure that if he really pisses them off and they're all going to attack us, that we can get out faster because we will be not surprised. And,
Yes.
Do you want me to go with you?
no, I think I'll be all right. And I kind of just look over there, and then
Where?
I go invisible. Just
She does that to me all the time.
Oh, what's it? What? Where'd she?
and then I walk away. I'll try to walk quietly too, so I'll be sneaky, stealthy.
Crunch, crunch,
Go ahead
crunch.
and give me a stealth check for that.
Okay. That is going to be a 21.
Boom. Where is my... All right, 21.
Tabletop loot.
Boom. Excellent. And let's see... Gildan. I don't know. All right. Hey, give me just a second. I lost my train of thought. I had a brain fart or something, and I got a mind wipe.
Relatable.
Yeah. Here we go.
Men in Black were like, ching.
Yeah, you just sort of like someone just like thumps you, and you're just like, oh. Gildan follows the Black Dragonborn.
Old Inky got him.
Yeah, and this sort of like honor guard of rather large gnolls that accompanies them, and they weave their way through the tent city, making their way towards the rather large circus-style tent that's in the middle of the encampment. Occasionally, you see the Dragonborn dart its eyes and sort of look back behind it in Mur's direction, but never like locking eyes or sort of like spotting you. But you can tell Mur that while it doesn't know you're there, it suspects something.
Smells you.
Yes, because it keeps sort of like looking back and like.
I'll put some extra distance then.
Okay.
Kind of. I just need to make sure she flubs it royally that I can dimension door back to the skiff and GTFO.
Yeah, you're well within the range of the skip. So how about for Ellie and Baloo? What do y'all do while they're going to have this meeting with Hamada?
I'm probably gonna stay on the skiff and then maybe strike some more conversation with Axeman.
Mm-hmm.
Axeman.
Bekroithoik.
Yes, X.
All right, high fantasy man.
Right.
Axeman of New Orleans.
When he was a part of this world, this was high fantasy AF. You know, it's like Forgotten Realms. So yeah, he's pleasant enough. You know, he's learning the language or learning the new dialect of it rather quickly.
Okay.
And then the two of y'all are staying on the skiff. How about Blue?
I mean, he said he'd stay with the skiff as well, but if there's anything nearby, he'll get bored and go investigate, like any stalls or.
I mean, there's a ton of stuff, and the first of the champions and the groups that are going out to fight are just now, making their way. Like this is like sort of dawn. The suns are coming up. It's about to be rather warm. Most of the people who aren't going to be fighting or the like have made their way inside the tents. And those of you who you're traveling with, they've all erected their sort of temporary shelters that will protect them from the sun while they wait.
Yeah.
But if everybody's staying put, then we can cut back to Gildan and the Dragonborn.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It doesn't take too long to work your way through the tent city. While you do, merchants are sort of packing up their things, moving things indoors and tying down tents, making sure that an errant flap doesn't roast someone alive on accident. And you approach the rather large tent and can see that it's really like a double tent. There's this large sort of shell of a tent that covers two smaller ones that are sort of inside of it. One of them is sort of off to the side and does not look like there's a lot of activity going on around it. The other one, the larger of the two, that is on the inside of this bigger tent, there's all sorts of gnolls and goblinoids and the like milling about. Many of them are well armed and armored, and you can see several fire pits and the like blazing from the inside of this other tent. Anything you'd like to do before you enter?
Yes. First things first. I'm going to do this to my nose. And I'm going to cast Eagle's Splendor, which is an enhanced ability on myself, which will give me advantage on all charisma checks. Next, I think I want to use my Domain of the Wise, Wisdom's Blessing, to double my Persuasion proficiency. And then I think the last thing I want to do is, I think, just a straight up blessing on myself.
Okay.
So I'm going to kind of super buff myself and then go in there with like a +8 +2d4 and or 1d4 and have advantage. Let me double check my bless because I probably want to cast that at a higher level.
Does it? Yeah. Does it increase? It doesn't increase the die type if you.
Let
cast
me
it
double
on.
check. I don't think so. It's probably more people.
I think it's probably more people too.
Dang it.
All right. So you've got blessings and gifts and the like that you've channeled into yourself. The honor guard peels off as you enter into this inner tent, and they sort of maintain their guard at the entrance to it. Inside is a well-maintained and clean tent. There's a large table set up just to the side of the entrance, as well as several other areas where there's like drinks and some food. This is clearly the tent of someone who commands a great deal of power and resources. And there's no throne or chair of any kind, but instead a large rusty brown furred knoll in very well maintained metal armor, steel in fact, is sort of going from table to table, looks like talking to several other gnolls and what appear to be a couple of hobgoblins that are inside. And as as Gildan and this Dragonborn enter, the gnoll looks up and sort of regards you, or rather the pair of you, with, acknowledges your presence, and then moves towards a central location where the three of you can chat. In a voice that's half a growl. I hear yesterday you came by and had a gift for me. Is that correct, Prophet?
Indeed!
And tell me, why bring me this gift?
For you were shown to me in the signs beyond the stars that you were to lead the invincible army of the Gorgon goddess of the Gildanites.
You already lead an invincible army. What use have I for your Gildanites?
Could you repeat that question, please?
She's basically like, why? I already have an army. Why would I need to?
That's exactly. Your army is required of the Gorgon goddess.
Ah, so you wish to retain our services?
This is going to cost me. Yes.
And what do you offer for this?
Half
of
the spoils.
And our conquest? Do we have a city that needs raising, or a rival that needs...
It is for the goddess to declare I am but the herald, the gatherer, the collector, the harvester. I am he that reaps and separates the wheat from the tares.
I see. And she motions to a statue that's in the corner of a jackal-headed creature of some kind, humanoid in shape, but clearly some sort of otherworldly figure. Yakali is my patron. No need of any wasteland deity to appeal to for power.
What has your patron done to reward you?
filled me with the strength to acquire all of this.
All of what? The camp?
She sort of, she can't. She gives you a look of can't decide if you're trying to insult her or you just don't know.
I just don't know. I mean, it's like, with all of this, and I'm like, yes, a well-maintained tent. I got one of those.
More than that, then, those soldiers out there, they obey my commands. I have led them to victory after victory.
What if you retain the worship of your deity, yet your army is retained by my goddess?
Your goddess would be agreeable to this arrangement?
Most of them are, for the gods have mingled with other gods of Pantheon since time innumerable. There have often been gods of war. Perhaps yours sits at that place in the Pantheon.
She, at the mention of that, she looks towards the statue, and sort of her eyes squint and her snout sort of scrunches up a bit. Gestures over towards a pair of chairs next to what looks to be like a pitcher of water of some kind. Please sit. While all this is going on, where is Myrrh during all this?
I think she would like to be, because that other person was kind of knew someone was behind her, so she wouldn't be like, "Oh, I'm standing in the tent doorway." She'd probably be like on one of the sides of the tent, just listening.
Okay. Give me a perception check for that. Then.
Sure.
How much you're able to go. The Dragonborn has sort of taken a position somewhere in the tent and appears to be just like watching.
It's a 19.
Okay, 19 for Myrrh. One thing that strikes you about this Dragonborn is when it's still, it is incredibly still. You can't see it breathing, and in fact, even that inky black smoke that occasionally leaks out of its muzzle isn't even present. It blends in with the shadows in here very well.
Interesting.
So we seemed to have skipped a proper introduction. You are...
I am Gildan, son of Bakai, he who is called wise, prophet of the waste, child of Baba Yaga, and herald of the Gorgon goddess of the Gildanites, slayer of Ling.
Interesting. I am Hamada. I am the champion of Yakali. And where I go, my enemies fear and tremble. Have you not heard of me? You can make a history check if you'd like.
Can Myrrh make a history check?
Yeah.
All right, let's see how this goes.
I would think is her jam.
17.
16.
Yeah, I it's like, oh yeah, like you've heard stories of a Knoll warlord and the like. Of course, there's many of them out there in the wastes, but this far south is not is unusual.
Okay.
Usually, the stories that you've heard of her, it's much further north, where she.
Interesting, like how Ishtar is from much further north. Okay. Interesting.
I am intrigued by your offer, I must admit, but I feel as though you're not being entirely truthful with me.
How would you like me to prove my honesty?
She looks back over her shoulder and raises a clawed paw and gestures to someone unseen in the tent. And there is a bit of movement from the back of it as another figure appears. This is Dashia. She is looking to escape a contract that she has with our esteemed general across the way. She's one of his night wives. And Dashia is a hobgoblin who sort of like close-cropped hair, very... you see her and you're immediately struck by someone who carries violence in their hand and uses it with ease. She walks like a panther and has a variety of weapons about her that she seems to know how to use. Hasn't said anything. Dashia would prefer to divorce herself from the general amicably. It does no one any good to spill blood over these sorts of differences. But he is who he is and desires his wife back. Perhaps you could persuade him, and we can avoid all of this fuss that is going on. Almost as if on cue, there's a sound, a blast of trumpet and drums. Those of you outside on the plain, you can see that two groups of about 20 or so warriors have met in that field between the two encampments and are exchanging what appear to be insults and shouts. There's a ritualized war dance and the like. And they all begin to crowd around their two champions as the two of them make their way out into the center of this field and begin to duel as is their wont. Back in the tent. It would be... I would be very much pleased if we could avoid this pointless bloodshed. I prefer to spend the lives of my soldiers in more worthy pursuits. If you are as persuasive as you seem to be, perhaps you could speak to Dashia's husband.
How far away is he? You said across the way?
Just across the camp there. And looking out, like the flaps sort of perfectly open. There's a central channel in the tent city that looks exactly onto the...
Yeah, and they're just... And there's a little smoke cloud of Gildan left there. He goes, "They will be done." He's fast.
Just trying to make the use before your spells run out.
Yes. I mean, I have hours, but yes.
Yes.
Mer would like to study Dashia for a moment, a couple minutes, like during this conversation. She wasn't looking at the other day. She was watching this one. As soon as she heard, oh, they're trying to, okay, let me study this lady for a minute. Try to get her.
Poor Gildan's going to bring his, scalp of the hobgoblin woman he has. She died! No. No.
Dashia is dressed in the manner of the wastes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Garments designed to to shield herself from the sun, also allow for movement. So like a poncho. Underneath that is you see a variety of knives, what appear to be a sickle of some kind, or maybe like a khopesh sword.
Okay.
And then you can also tell that she has various vials of poisons and the like on her that you sort of recognize.
Yeah.
For sort of
work.
Yes, from work. But she sort of literally forms out of this, kind of like comes out of nowhere when she appeared.
Okay, cool. So I'll just take note of how she carries herself, that kind of thing, in case she needs to impersonate it later. And then she'll run after Gildan.
Those of you on the skiff very soon see this, what you. A goblin running across in broad daylight, no umbrella, no parasol, no protection, running across the open field. It's a good mile, right?
He's got the Naruto arms behind him.
That's how I run.
Yeah. That's how Trogdor runs as well. Yes, it is. Gildan's booking it across the open field.
Oh.
Mer's gonna try to surprise Gildan and just say, because she's invisible, running right next to him, So, Gildan, how are you going to go about this?
No hablo, mean person.
Oh, well, then I guess I will not offer you my assistance.
You already refused to help. Now you're just spying and stealing secrets so you can sell them later, he says very sadly.
I don't really
How do
trade
you live with yourself?
quite easily, actually.
Yeah, I imagine Mur sleeps just fine at night.
She has no problem.
She did it for quite some time there.
And that's only because of her sister. Half-sister.
Ooh.
There is a some surprise as Gildan passes by the two dueling champions and their followers, but otherwise it's a good mile across this open plain, and you make it to the other encampment without being stopped or anything like that. The other encampment, like I said, is much less organized and laid out. It's really like these clusters of yurts of various sizes, and out of most of them come the sounds of music and dancing. There's laughter and sort of other sounds. Some of them are clearly home to orgies of various intensity. As you enter this sort of
killing here.
yeah, there's this kind of like hedonistic vibe that you get as you enter the outskirts of this other encampment.
I like this place.
Now, those of you on the skiff, did y'all notice this going on? Are y'all staying on there still?
I mean, you know, we've got the Gildanites with the skiff, right? They'll watch
You
it.
do.
Yeah.
So you all look at each other, then just take it.
Right. How do we work this?
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
Hey, Ellie. Do you wanna see what happens?
Okay, he was running kind of funny.
Yeah. He had his arms out. That was really weird. Yeah. Let's go check it out. I'm bored. Let's go.
All right. So you gear up and head out into the blazing hot sun. You guys walk a mile in this three-sun across this sort of flat plain of the desert.
Yeah.
And I need both Ellie and Baloo to make me a Constitution check as they make their way across.
The weather's great.
It's perfectly fine. I don't know what you guys are worried about. DC is he's 15.
17.
Nice.
This is a bad idea.
What do you got, Baloo?
2.
2. Baloo has a level of exhaustion that as you just like get there, your fur's all matted underneath this getup that you have to wear to keep from being burned and sweaty and the like. It's not pleasant, but Ellie managed to shake off the worst of the effects. So Baloo has a level of exhaustion as he gets into the other camp. So, give me an idea of what y'all's plan is here. Gildan has arrived first, Mur sort of with him, and then Ellie and Baloo are not that far behind them. But this place is much less well laid out. It's going to be tricky to not lose Gildan in the mass of yurts.
And he's little.
It's true. He's slippery.
Yeah.
Right behind him.
Yeah. So for Ellie and Baloo, give me perception checks to just sort of get that. Gildan, what would be your passive stealth?
It's actually pretty high, I think. He has decent stealth. My passive stealth...
10 plus modifier.
Yeah, I think 15.
Okay. So 15 in order to keep following him and not lose sight of him.
I should turn invisible just to lose him.
I got 20 in perception.
Okay, so
7.
7, all right.
Baloo always sees him. There's
Yeah,
a dummy.
Baloo can spot it. Yeah, I'd say Baloo has advantage to spot. Crap. So following Baloo, who is following Gildan, who is presumably making his way towards somewhere he doesn't know where he's going, to meet with someone whose name he does not know. Gildan, what's your plan?
I must find the husband of, what was her name, Dasiria?
Dashia. I'll put it in backstage.
I must find the husband of Dashia. Dashia's husband.
Yeah, Mer's trying to just keep her ear out over Gildan yelling to see if anyone's saying a particular name in particular. Yeah.
So there's a
in the name of Hamada.
As he starts like running through the camp screaming this, there are some people outside. Either they're like the two of you and they're not as adversely affected by the daytime conditions, or they just pop their heads out of their yurts. Like, trying to have an orgy in here. I don't know why you're running around screaming.
Oh my god, what is that? I'm like running.
Poor thing, don't look.
You know, Mur sort of notices, because you're sort of paying attention to it, that most people, as they hear the names that Gildan is crying out, are sort of like looking at him like, oh.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's the leader.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing if they look in a particular direction, like towards where he's at or something.
I, herald of the goddess, seek he or she.
There is eventually someone stops Gildan. What is going on here?
I have been sent by Hamada with a task and a message. His name is unknown to me.
Ah, you seek Naibowe.
Naibowe. I do.
So, in that case, you will find him not far over there, but beware. He is very cross.
I can deal with cross. All right.
That's fair.
I'm looking for him.
There's a yurt that's larger than normal, roughly in the center of the camp, and from it issue forth the sounds of discordant music and laughter, squeals of delight, and the like. And you can see a group of stout hobgoblin warriors milling about the front underneath the shade of a canopy. But it's the closest thing you've seen to like a command tent or something like that.
All right. Centered on the point above the tent, I want to cast Calm Emotions. So I need a charisma save of every creature inside.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Wow.
You're just gonna like harsh and mellow.
Wow, this is
all right. DC what? 15, 14?
Yeah.
Does that include us?
No, inside this.
I think so.
Oh.
I can't calm your emotions against me. It's too difficult at this point.
They're sort of like the sounds of sort of laughter and excitement die down as you know, you sort of hear people inside like start to talk and the music starts to falter, and then there's a booming sort of voice of you know, what is going on here? The music, come back and please, everyone, bring more incense, and you know, and there's sort of like commands and shouts of.
Gildan's gonna make his appearance now. Neighborway. Neighborway. I am Gildan, son of Bakai, he who is called Wise, herald of the Gorgon goddess. I come bearing a message. You must give leave of your wife, Dashia.
It's not to no such thing. She has run away from me, and I must have her back.
No. You must obtain a new night wife, for it is spoken by the gods.
I have 12, and everyone knows I have to have 13.
Thus, I'm going to give him a servitor and address.
So as you're like this, you're having this conversation as Gildan like walks into the tent and his eyes sort of adjust to the inside of it.
Well, I'm walking in too. I want to see if I can.
Behold, your wife.
No, I'm invincible still.
And there's a paunchy hobgoblin in what appears to be like pink and blue silk robes and slippers, who's just like on a chair with a big goblet and a haunch of some sort of meat. His eyes have a piercing sort of quality to them, and they're deep, vibrant blue. But otherwise, he seems a flabby sort to be a general. And all around him, it's like that scene in Conan the Barbarian, right, where there's just a mass of bodies that you're kind of don't know where one starts the other, but they're all like hobgoblins and bugbears and other sort of goblinoids and other wastelanders. So it's all matted fur and sort of a musky odor that permeates the tent, masked by an intense smell of incense.
That sounds fun.
Neighborway.
Interrupted their orgy.
I know. And
like harshly.
There's a lot of like picking up their clothes and just like, I'm just not in the mood anymore. I don't know what happened. Sorry. A lot of disappointed. Oh, but come on. And
Neighborway.
Killer of Boners needs to be added to Gildan's titles.
Doesn't it?
The problem is, there's so many ways this can go wrong, and I've made my career off of lying to NPCs, but this calls for the truth. Neighborway,
yes,
you will never have her, and she is beyond your possession.
But we gave my heart to her. How could she do this to me? He seems genuinely distressed.
I know, and he should be. And Neighborway, she doesn't do it to you. She does it to herself. Better you leave her and let the gods curse her for her ruthfulness and let her live out her days, a shell and a husk of the woman she once was, and you find a new love that makes hers a pale comparison of what you have yet to obtain. Might I leave you with a blessing?
I will take your blessing.
All right. So I'm going to cast Bless again on him.
Okay.
I almost want to give him like a spiritual quest. In fact, I ask him if he will smoke with me.
Okay.
So I I take a puppet that I grind up into the good stuff. Pass the pipe.
Puppet hash.
Yeah.
I imagine it's like a pepper grinder with a puppet like over it. And you just like twist the head. And it's,
Little Jack in the Box head too. I'm going to cast divination.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, to where will Neighborway find a new love after leaving Dashia?
I do not know. I do not know how my heart can only love 12 women.
I know. He needs like 5 more. He needs spares. He needs backups.
So large. I just have to give it all.
He's my least favorite / most favorite NPC of any RPG ever.
Mer just like slips a business card under one of the orcs at this point in time.
So I'm going to cast divination and call the gods themselves. They must answer truthfully. Where he will find his new love to make the number to 13. I hope like Baba Yaga comes in. She looks agitated. She's wearing a bathrobe, towel over her head. She's like, anywhere. Yeah.
All right. Divination. While we're looking up these things, how about Ellie and Baloo? You guys saw Gildan sort of like pass by a couple of the yurts and then cast a spell and then enter into this one making great big proclamations. Y'all are some distance behind him. What what do y'all do?
I think I would keep on following, kind of, and then shielding my eyes from like any unsightly things.
Just in case, I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace for us.
Okay. Are y'all trying to sneak in? But the guards sort of followed Gildan in. They were kind of like, wait, and then Gildan just walked right past them at the invitation of Nabue.
Behold, your new bride as Baloo appears. Hello.
So Baloo's got the Pass Without Trace going. Are y'all trying to sneak in then?
More just like eavesdrop unnoticed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Work.
Okay. Sort of hanging out around the outside then. No, you don't. Perhaps you
I'll
don't.
probably like peek in. Like,
Okay. Give me some stealth rolls from the two of you then.
Sure.
And so Gildan and Nibaway sit down, and he pull up a pillow. Come on.
Oh.
And
Yeah. Let's lay down together.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot.
He sort of lounges. What was that for Ellie?
18.
18, and for Blue?
18 as well.
18, nice. And let's see. What I've got. All right. Work your magic, then, Goblin.
All right, so this is an action, and it's an instantaneous spell that I could do as a ritual. I think the quicker and more efficient the answer, I don't think he's a man of patience, that's why he has so many night wives. And I'm going to put us in contact with the god and be like, where does Nabaway find his new bride?
Let's see here. Ask a single question concerning a specific event that occurred within 7 days. Truthful reply. Might be a short phrase, quick grammar moment. There's you two pass this puppet pipe.
Puppet pipe. Yeah.
Between the
as you smoke, its little arms move.
and he takes a deep draw from it, and you're holding it in and allowing the magic to course through him, and the two of you commune with your wasteland goddess, and the vision that the two of you have is of the yurt splitting open like a flower, and revealing a sky of brilliant blues and greens and even yellows, and a towering shadowy figure reaches down into it, and you recognize the presence of Baba Yaga when you feel it, and there is a still whisper on the wind. The general will find what he desires when he learns to let go.
Did you hear that? You are to wrestle your new bride. Mud comes running from the skiff.
Wrestle. Yes, this seems perfectly reasonable. Please, and
sending spell to Mud. Mud, please come quick. We found the one for you.
Mm-hmm. And
stand by your man.
You see behind him now that your eyes have kind of adjusted and some of the crowd has dispersed, that there are indeed many other figures milling about the inside of this tent that remind you of Dashia. They're of orc, hobgoblin, bugbear, and the like. All of them well armed and with the looks of just like, I wish you would try something in here. It's going to take Mud a minute to get there.
She's real fast though. She's got high speed
and has fire res. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
That tiefling though.
There you go. So what about everybody else? Give me an idea. You've all seen this. Really, the two of you, or really everybody else, they just saw Gildan and the general get high. There's probably about half of the inhabitants in here. Their heart's not in it anymore. So the whole thing is starting to kind of break up. And Baloo and Ellie can sort of see them sort of leaving out the front of the tent. So give me an idea while we're waiting for Mud, what everybody does while in the general's yurt.
Mur drops some eaves and places a couple business cards because this seems like the right place to leave business cards. My business is your pleasure. My business is your pleasure.
There's
Sleep
a lot
on
of
your
talk.
pillows.
There's a lot of talk about the general and his wives, and we should just find another one. Tashia wishes to be free and pursue her own goals, like all that kind of stuff. Oh, no, he gave her everything. How dare she repay him with this, that sort of business. So opinions seem to be mixed. They also don't seem to worry at all about speculating in front of him, gossiping.
Okay.
This has an atmosphere of more of like a frat party than
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay.
As people leave the tent, Ellie will still kind of like cover her eyes a little bit.
A little bit, though. So.
And then just still kind of hear, who do you think he's gonna give to him? Like a new wife? Somebody he found on the street.
Honestly, at this point, I never know. Like,
nobody interesting comes to mind.
I hope not you. I hope he doesn't try to give you. He probably wouldn't.
No, he would never do that to me.
No, he wouldn't. Yeah, you're right. He's not that bad. I don't know, but either way, I'm really impressed. He's come a long way.
I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
We lost Jim.
Jim's broken.
All right, Baloo's back on his old bullshit. But Baloo and Ellie are sort of staying outside the tent and just
yeah. I think I'd probably put my head a little bit more inside the tent. Because it seems more of a chill environment. But not enough to be like, hey, I'm here.
Right. When you're still covered with the protective equipment that keeps you from taking 20 damage around. So there's the inside of the tent is poorly lit. There's a odd mixture of aromas that greets you, and for the most part, you really just see sort of Gildan and this paunchy hobgoblin in a silk robe lounging about on a bed of pillows around a smoking fire pit, basically. And shadowy figures in the back milling about. But that's sort of what Ellie sees as she pokes her head in.
Sure. Baloo, he's laying down on pillows with this person. Do you think he's going to be his next bride?
He doesn't have the kind of commitment in him.
Yeah. I don't think he would. That's a longer con than he would be willing to commit.
Golden plays the short game. Yeah, Mud will come up pretty soon.
Yeah, is it because you still love him?
I don't love him anymore.
Teens.
I know.
All right.
He says.
Is that really how you feel? Have you lost all love and attraction towards him?
No, but I can't love him anymore.
Why? I mean, I kind of know why, but why?
Because he doesn't want to be loved.
Does that break your heart? Because that breaks my heart.
Yeah, I try not to think about it. You're going to make me cry.
I'm sorry. We could cry together. I don't think this is the right place or establishment to cry.
No, they're going to the tears are going to evaporate as soon as they leave our eyes.
What about now? You hear Mud. Baloo Moon, you saw
Baloo
me standing alone. She's coming up. Baloo
No.
Moon.
Quick, hide.
Yeah, right.
Mud will show up.
I have a +10.
I beat that 18.
Yeah.
All right, Mud. You're on deck.
Oh yeah, Gildan used a sending spell, sent it to her, and she goes, I hear there's a man that needs to be pleasured.
Oh.
Enter the tent.
That's what happens when you succubus for a mom, y'all.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I took monkey's grip as a feat in first edition.
I'm not a bugbear. Normal grip will do. He going by the way, sits up at this. Oh, what creature is this? So just wait, and not Mur. I always get sorry. Mud has like what
We
indigo,
look nothing alike.
right?
You see her? Yeah, she's kind of like this indigo skin. She's a big, beautiful woman. She's very well made, rotund and curvy, but her body fulfills every promise it makes. She's the 6-time shot put champion of the city of Dis. And she's like, I can throw a nugget as far as any man.
Standing.
I don't know if that's a good
skill. Mur enters, big, beautiful man himself, and just, what manner of exquisite, that grace and poise.
I was told we are to be married, and I am to be the 13th bride, she says, making echoes with her own mouth.
You will join my harem and become a night wife then.
Yes, and he's gonna do the ceremony as Gildan pulls out 2 rings. One was meant for Baloo, and the other, and you notice he kind of takes it, he kind of pockets it down under his pinky ring and pulls out another ring that he keeps for, well, pawn shop weddings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make a con save for Mur to see if she can avoid going from the corner while she's invisible from this. This is distasteful. She doesn't like.
Gildan says, I can wed thee, and you can have a 13th bride, so long as you let me dissolve the union between you and Dashia, he says as he holds up his warhammer.
Dashia broke my heart.
I'll never break it.
You will never break it. What is your name, exquisite creature?
My name is Mud. Backwards it spells dumb.
Oh my god. I have my own vows.
Yeah. I can do that. And she looks at Gildan with concern, and Gildan's like,
and he, Noiboy Way gets down on one knee and takes Mur's hand in his beefy
Mud's
paw.
hand.
Mud's hand. This will always happen. Mud's hand in his beefy paws. My darling, from the moment I met you, I was entranced by your beauty and prowess.
I am beautiful.
Do you swear to slay my enemies, twisting their entrails into a braid of hate that I will wear as a crown?
Fuck yeah.
Then may this prophet.
Oh God!
As he just plants a big wet kiss on her hand.
Yeah, and she takes it, and she's just starting to undress, and like goes like, whoa, wait. Nominee to Gorgon de Goddess and the waste of Mazzola. Amen.
Mur's fishing back out all those business cards she placed here. She's like,
and
with that, Gildan is like, all right, and he leaves a little Gildan cloud, and he's running back.
Yeah, the last anyone sees of the two of them is Naibawe disrobing. He's got like a garishly colored Speedo on underneath his silk robe, and he takes Mud in a firm embrace. And
she makes it even firmer.
Yes. I think we should have one last opposed athletics to see how this goes, and then the first slap will fall on this one, I think.
Okay.
19.
24.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Monkey grip.
As you leave
It's third edition, baby.
the yurt behind, howls of pleasure issue forth from it.
Oh God.
Sounds like Goofy falling off a cliff.
Sprinting. I like Randy. I'm sprinting back. I do
Gildan's
not
cast
want to hear
silent spell over around the tent, not on the tent. He wants them to hear each other, but nowhere else around. It's like, please.
I'm assuming y'all are heading back.
Oh, Gildan's sprinting
As soon as
full.
the
He's just like,
happened,
haha, I've divorced him and married him, and I'm rid of Mud. And
rid of Mud.
even he. She's gonna, next time we find her, she's gonna be like Queen of the Waste, and they'll have dual crowns of entrails, and they're like, you betrayed us.
Oh, we're gonna see Mud again. Absolutely.
Oh, we have to.
With little mudlings, like hobgoblin mud babies.
I missed that from Ellie. What was Ellie doing?
Oh, that as soon as the embrace happened, Ellie just dipped.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everybody bugs out. All right. You leave behind the thing. Get and make your way back to Hamada's encampment, which is blessedly free from any sort of debauchery or the like, or maybe disappointingly free, depending on your persuasion. And Hamada is in her tent with the honor guard and advisors and the like. The first duel between the champions has ended in favor, actually, of Boy Away, and so the second group of champions is making ready for their bout. You have word. It's quite fast. I hope that it's good news.
Yes. Her relationship with Neighbor Way is dissolved. The wise woman of the waste has spoken, and rites have been performed. He has a new bride now. Mud, 6-time shot put champion of the city of Dis. You may have heard of her. Most likely not.
Mm-hmm. You see, Dashia gives a slight nod of approval as Hamada sort of looks in her direction, and she disappears into the back of the tent after that, but not before giving Gildan a approving nod of her head, like a Boba Fett nod, right? Just a
Respect.
Mm-hmm.
That was a thermal detonator, Gildan. Yeah, Mud's a thermal detonator.
There you go. What are you going to do? Hamada speaks. I suppose then this whole silliness will be over with by tomorrow. Where is your goddess so that we might enter into negotiations?
She is to the north, at the shrine of the great Medusa.
In the forest of stone.
Yes, where else?
Well, I suppose that you should inform your goddess that we will be arriving in our own time, but we keep our promises.
Gildan nods respectfully. Might I leave a blessing upon thee?
Have no need of your blessings, prophet.
That a curse then? No, I was like, bestow curse. No, you are blind. You will wander the waste until you seek forgiveness. No, no. And Gildan leaves, kind of smugly. And he's like, to the Gildanites! And he's running back to the skiff.
I just dimension door, so I'm already on the skiff.
Okay.
I never knew she was there the entire time, except when she was taunting me.
She was that was actually, I think, the only time Mur's been like genuine in offering help.
I know, and I
like,
couldn't
no.
accept it.
Yeah.
So she's like, all right, I just want to see how this plays out.
It has
So,
nothing
yeah.
to do with Gildan, except Gildan's sore over the cooking contest from a long, 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 long time ago. He will carry a grudge to the grave.
Yeah, I like step behind something, just dimension door, so no one sees me. On the ship, look like I've been waiting there a while.
Yeah. And Ellie
And
and
then
Blue.
Baloo gets back, I'm like,
Yeah.
you didn't watch the skiff.
No.
We went to go be nosy.
Yeah.
I don't regret it. Actually, yeah, I do.
Much
There's
regret.
so many things.
regret.
I'll have to explain them to you in kinder terms.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell her what that was.
We'll have a talk. A mother to daughter talk.
I don't want to tell her.
There's a monster over there we got to take down.
No. There was a wedding. It was horrible. But Mud will not be coming back.
Thanks to me, says Gildan as he arrives.
Bad and Guga seemed pleased with that. We didn't like her. She seemed, she's bossy.
No one likes her.
Kind of a bully.
Yes,
Like a nice bully.
a tiefling bully. Hashtag tiefling bully.
Mud.
As I look at
Tiefling
Mer.
Mer doesn't bully anyone. She blackmails.
Yeah.
Her seems like a nice person.
Think.
She is.
All right. So, as you leave the two encampments behind, or rather, you guys, it's going to be difficult for the hangers on to travel during the day. Hamada,
Travel at night.
yeah, they really can only travel at night. So that's going to account for a large part of why it will take so long to get back to the mistress with this sort of advanced guard and then word of a. So give me an idea of sort of what's that journey like for y'all? Is there anything you'd like to accomplish on that? At this time, it's like the fourth time you've made the trip between these two.
Indoctrinating the servitors is to essentially the Medusa etiquette. She's the goddess of the waste. They are her invincible army. Before her, they shall march and never be defeated. They cannot be defeated. And I'm really going to get them to lean into there and buy into the myth. You know, I'm hyping them up.
Mer's gonna spend her time during the day. She's probably gonna sleep so she can drive all night. But, because there's a lot more hours in the day than in the night. So she's gonna spend the rest of the time just still magically mending the part of the skiff that was in the crash, because that's her baby. So, that Nelly.
Keeping it well maintained. Okay.
Yeah, and Blue's just going to spend most of the time in silence, thinking about how corrupting that lawful organizations and religion are to people, and that anytime, anytime people are given power like that, it's just gonna destroy.
What is it this time that makes Blue? What sets Blue off on this rumination?
He's about to donate unwittingly an army to a Medusa, and who knows what she'll do with it.
I have plans either way. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they can't just live out there doing nothing.
Oh, I know.
These guys were bred for war. They need to find someone to send them. Their fate is whatever it is that they're commanded to do. Besides, I got a crush on her daughter. And her.
Mer would offer a business.
Actually,
plan.
Mud did. Didn't Mud seduce both of them?
Mud seduced
did.
both of them. Something terrible must have happened during that.
That's true.
Right. So Blue sort of like, what is it that you got? What is it that you're about to do?
I think
also,
Mud pulled one of the snakes out of their heads. Ah!
You look gray.
It looks great.
So that's Blue spends his day
Salty.
and journey and thought then. So how about Ellie?
Ellie would maybe want to have that weird talk with Mer when she's busy.
Yeah.
So what is it that you wanted me to know about that?
All right. Well, Ellie, do you know? All right, sit down. Have some tea. Mer will make a little tea. Basically, because it's so hot, she just kind of sets up like a kettle out for a second on like on the sand, and then pulls it back in. Over. Some tea bags. Have some tea.
When 10 people love each other very much.
Well, first of all, I don't know how much your father taught you, but do you know where babies come from? How babies are made?
Yeah, so you basically get a couple of potions and you put them in like a kettle or whatever you have.
She's a
Oh.
kettle baby. This is so sad.
Well,
Huh.
that is how I believe. So, remember how the servitors were in the big vats like that? I think that's how those types of babies are made. But they are very rare, very few and far between. Generally, you see when a male, depending on the species, but generally male and a female, they have affection for each other or just a lot of lust. They get together, and Mer will as graciously as possible explain the birds and the bees to Ellie.
Mhm.
And like along with that, safe practices.
Safe practices, yeah.
Yes.
A lot of prestidigitation.
Oh, always use a lambskin. Always use lambskin.
Lamb's intestines, sheep's intestines,
Sheep.
lizard sheep intestines, because we're in the list. So
Lizard, sheep, intestine.
Sure.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I mean, there's other substitutes. If you ever need any, I always have plenty on me. So just be sure to ask.
I don't think
The
I'll
business
ever
expense.
those.
Well,
I don't. That's
well,
weird.
it doesn't have to make a baby. If you take the safety precautions, it can be very fun. That is why I have it as my business.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways to do it where you don't make babies at all.
Mm-hmm. It's
Like
very
Ellie,
pleasurable.
just like
If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. I very knowledgeable about this subject.
okay. And then she sits on the opposite side of where the axe fan was because now it's coming together. And like,
Yeah, and like during the conversation, like you can both Mer, actually, really everybody in the skiff can give me a perception.
Yes. And she's trying not to do it in a loud way because she doesn't want to embarrass Ellie. So it's very hushed tones.
Right.
Got a
I got
24.
an 18.
Nat 20, I got a 25.
Yeah, but
I got
Croythwig,
a 20.
Croythwig is very much like trying not to listen, but listening, and just sort of like not like trying to take notes or anything.
Oh, because that's right. Because he didn't. Mer, if she notices this, Mer will just a hit closer, just a little bit louder, so that he can hear as well. But like I said, it's not like obvious to everyone. She's just like, giving sex ed, but yes, this is good. This is very good. No.
Yeah, that's not like at all what it was like with the Medusa, but it became Australian in here in a minute. And so there's
That's not a knife.
that's not
I
right.
see you've played knifey spooty before.
But it takes several days to cross the expanse of rocky desert between the hills and the petrified forest. Your party is large enough that no predators bother you during dawn and dusk. As slow as you're moving, you'd make a tempting target, but there's enough of you to keep them all seeking out easier prey.
Mhm.
And as we sort of draw to a close on this session, you deliver the news to the Medusa. At this point, we'll just kind of fast forward unless someone has something to say.
With 21 servitors, they're ready, and remember, these are my Glee Club servitors. They're like, Our Lady Medusa of the desert. Yeah, and then I got the high part. And it's like, yeah, boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
You're delivering the advanced guard of the invincible army of the wastes and promise of Hamada's assistance or service.
Mm-hmm.
Natharia seems amused and pleased at the same time, almost as if almost as if she's just seeing what you'll do for her at this point. And Gildan, you've proven yourself to be a trustworthy servant, and I could do no more than to bestow my favor upon you. Mm-hmm. And she actually steps down off the dais and takes Gildan's head in her
And
hands,
crushes it.
and her hair like latches on to Gildan's face and head, and briefly there's a sensation of pain before it's just numb, and she kisses Gildan, and Gildan senses a change within him. And I think next week we'll pick up and see either here or where, see where else we can go. I appreciate it. Guys, tonight's adventure, I was using material from Cinderheim, which is a work by Jack Shear. Jack does the Tales of the Dungeonesque, or Grotesque and Dungeonesque blog. If you like creepy, macabre D&D, you should go check it out. But this is a setting packet that he's been working on. It's very inspirational, right up the alley of Land Between Two Rivers. So check it out if you're interested in that kind of thing. The blog's great, and he's got some stuff, I believe, on Drive-Thru RPG under the Dolores. Let me see. Let me try to get this right. Let's see. Dolores Exhumation Press. So just want to give props to him, as the two warlords and their camps sort of are inspired by that Cinderheim setting book. Really appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us while we play some very weird Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Part of the fun of these games is just sort of coming up with a bizarre situation and seeing how the players handle it and their approach to these things. So we really appreciate it. How about we go through and get a quick wrap up from players? Where can we find you, and how's it going? Josh, what's going on?
Doing okay. I'm here on Thursdays, and then I'm on Twitter mostly. Beard for Charity, at Beard for Charity, and I'm on a short little hiatus, but I'm coming back and doing some more art. You can catch me there. I'll post stuff, and you can also catch me on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Beard for Charity. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Anna?
Hello, I had a great time as always. I'm glad the squad is back. So, can't wait for next week. And I hope Gildan is okay. I don't know. But you guys can find me online at places on Twitch as Cyborg Pizza, on Twitter and Instagram as AnnaBPhoto, and also on Thursdays here, and right after this game, I have another game now. It's called Ryutama. It's like a anime RPG, and that's
I want to play it so bad.
Yeah, it's really fun so far, and that's on Scraticus's channel. That's a mouthful.
We got to play that one day on this.
Yeah, I'd be down.
It's a blast. It's so much fun.
I've got a copy.
Yeah.
I think I might be the only one without an actual copy, but I'd love to play.
I don't have a copy either, but
it's pretty.
But we can watch you play here.
Yeah, you can watch me play right after this.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. We of course wish TK well on their vacation, and hope everything's going great. Lindy, how you doing?
I am doing super spiffy. Mer finally had to give Ellie the birds and the bees talk. She Emperor Croithic, apparently. Mer's just a font of education today.
Yeah.
Doing what she can, learning things. Actually, genuinely offered to help Gildan for like the first time ever. And this was, but as soon as he turned it down, she's like, okay, that was the first and the last time I'm ever doing that. And I think the first thought that goes through her head as the Medusa just shunk to Gildan's face is, oh my gosh, getting rid of Mud and Gildan on the same day? Is it my birthday? Is it my birthday? Like, this is the best.
Oh, we're guilty.
Just the two thorns in her side for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't wait to see what happens next week when the gang is 100% all back together. It's gonna be so great. You can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy, where I play in a bajillion tabletop games. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And find me on Twitch, Twitter, all the social medias. I'll post about when I'm going live there. And if you're going to be at the Maryland Renaissance Festival, you should be there this weekend, because I'm gonna be there this weekend. and it's gonna be really fun. So, and this guy is gonna be there this weekend.
Sweet. There you go. Hey, how's it going, Grant?
Yeah, I was saying that's me because I switched to Mer's solo shot for that, and I was like, she's pointing up at nothing. Yeah, and I just bought Cinderheim during our wrap up. Yes, really yeah, it already looks like it's right up my alley. Hi everyone, my name is Grant Ellis. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games with an emphasis on 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons and Cypher system. I have several books coming out before the end of the year, most of them being published by 2C Gaming. The other ones I'm not allowed to say who they're by yet, but I'm doing the TPK Handbook Volume 2, and I'm doing that other one, the TPK Bestiary, where I design monster groups that will challenge and frighten the party. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/GrantREllis, that finances all my productions. I'm a producer here on WebDM for their Twitch channel, so I produce the Starward Bound on Tuesdays, as well as Invisible Sun on Wednesdays, and then The Land Between Two Rivers on Thursdays. Check my Twitter at WisePapaGrant. I have a lot going on. I will also be at the Maryland Renaissance Fair. If you see me and you want to say hi, please say hi. And that's all I've got. Back to you, Jim.
Excellent. Yes, this is WebDM. We, of course, do all sorts of videos and YouTube stuff, and I really should have this all written down somewhere so that I don't have to make it up off the top of my head every week. But we really appreciate you guys coming out. We appreciate just showing up in chat. We appreciate the subs, all that kind of stuff, the bits, the chits, the whatevers, and just really enjoy you guys hanging out with us while we explore this bizarre and post-apocalyptic setting. I hope that you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you next Tuesday for Starward Bound. Later on, guys.